My beloved child, come closer in spirit, because what I am about to reveal to you is not just a story, it is a whisper from the divine, a message wrapped inside emotion, destiny, and the unseen truth of what people feel when they look at you. And today, the story begins with something you never expected, the moment they noticed your legs, and what they said next left even the angels silent for a moment. My beloved child, you must understand, nothing in your life has ever been normal. Even the moments that seem small, ordinary, meaningless, have always carried a hidden spiritual weight. And on that particular day, yes, the day when someone's eyes fell upon your legs, something powerful was set in motion. A shift in perception. A crack in someone's heart. A realization they did not see coming. You were simply walking, unaware that destiny was watching you from the corner of the room. You thought you were invisible. You thought no one noticed you. You thought your presence blended into the background like it always does. But my beloved child, I tell you now, you were noticed long before you even entered the room. Your energy entered before your footsteps. Your strength walked in before your body did. And when their eyes moved downward, landing on your legs, even they were not prepared for what they felt. Because what they saw was not just your physical form. They saw your journey. Your endurance. Your pain. Your courage. Your survival. The silent battles you fought alone. The nights you cried and still got up the next morning. The miles your soul walked even when your body wanted to collapse. They looked at your legs, my beloved child, and for a moment, they forgot their own name. Because suddenly, they weren't looking at skin. They were looking at story. They were not seeing shape, they were seeing strength formed from years of walking through fire and storms. And then they said something. Something that still echoes in the spiritual realm, something you never expected anyone to say to you. But before I reveal their words, let me tell you why heaven wants you to hear this message. My beloved child, you have lived much of your life believing that no one truly sees you. Not deeply. Not spiritually. Not beyond the surface. You have walked through rooms and felt invisible. You have spoken and felt unheard. You have tried and felt unappreciated. The world made you believe that your existence was ordinary, unnoticed, and forgettable. But today I am tearing that lie away from your soul. Because the truth is, people notice you far more than you think. They feel your presence before they see your face. They sense your energy before they hear your voice. Some admire you quietly. Some envy you secretly. Some desire you silently. Some fear you unknowingly. But none of them are indifferent to you. And that day, the person who saw your legs felt something they had never felt before. Not lust. Not judgment. Not comparison. Not insecurity. But recognition. My beloved child, do you know why recognition is powerful? Because it is the soul's way of saying, I know you from somewhere deeper than this world. When they looked at your legs, they saw the way you carried yourself. The way you stood even when life tried to push you down. The way you kept walking even when your heart felt heavy. The way you moved through the world with a quiet grace that cannot be taught, only born through suffering and healing. And then, the moment came. The moment that shocked you even though you tried to pretend it didn't. The moment that shocked them even more. They said, in a trembling voice, "How do you walk with so much strength, when life has tried so hard to break you?" My beloved child, those words came from a place deeper than admiration. They came from the part of their soul that saw through you, not with human eyes, but with spiritual sight. Because you don't just walk. You move like someone who has been carried by angels. You step as someone who has survived battles no one knows about. Your legs are not just limbs, they are proof of every hardship you endured, every tear you swallowed, every betrayal you overcame, every fear you confronted alone. But listen, my beloved child, that was only the beginning. When they asked that question, you froze inside. Not outwardly. Outside, you tried to act normal. You smiled or shrugged or changed the topic. You thought they were being polite or strange or dramatic. You didn't understand the weight of what they were saying. But their eyes stayed fixed on you because they felt something awakening inside them, something uncontrollable, something soft, something overwhelming. You see, my beloved child, sometimes people don't fall for your looks. They fall for your spirit that your looks cannot hide. And that day, without even trying, you pulled someone's soul toward you. My beloved child, do you know why you shock people without realizing it? Because people expect someone who has been hurt to move like a broken person, but you walk as if the universe itself supports your every step. You walk like someone who has survived storms and still found the sun. You walk like someone who carries destiny in their bones. You walk like someone whose steps are watched over, measured, guided, and blessed. And whether you believe it or not, they felt that. They kept staring, not because of attraction alone, but because your legs told a story their heart wasn't ready to hear. They saw the contradiction, how someone who has struggled so much can still move with such grace, softness, elegance, and power. And inside them, something whispered, "This person is not ordinary." My beloved child, you must understand. Your legs became the symbol of every path you walked alone. Your journey shines through you, even when you don't speak about it. People sense your strength because it radiates from the steps you take. But let me reveal something deeper, something hidden. The person who noticed your legs that day did not just notice your strength. They noticed your destiny. There was a spiritual pull in that moment. A divine recognition. A thread of fate tightening between two souls. They felt the urge to come closer. To understand you. To protect you. To admire you. To touch the mystery that surrounds you. And my beloved child, even though you walked away thinking it was nothing, their heart did not remain the same. Something inside them began to shift. Something began to stir. Something began to awaken. They could not stop thinking about how you walk. How you move. How your silent strength feels louder than words. My beloved child, heaven is telling you this because you need to know, you are not invisible. You are unforgettable. Your presence changes the atmosphere without you realizing it. And the person who noticed your legs, the person who asked that shocking question, the person whose soul trembled in that moment. Their story with you is not over. Part 1 ends here, my beloved child, but the journey is just beginning. My beloved child. You have returned, and that is no coincidence. You are here because your spirit is ready to see what unfolds next, because what began the moment they noticed your legs is far greater than you imagine. The story that started with shock, admiration, and silent recognition is about to deepen, and your soul must be ready to feel it in every fiber of your being. After that day, my beloved child, something shifted. Something subtle, almost invisible, yet impossibly profound. That person, whose eyes had lingered on your legs and whose heart had whispered in awe, could not forget you. And it was not just because of what they saw, but because of what they felt. The energy you radiate touches others in ways that words cannot describe. Even the air around you remembers your steps. My beloved child, you may not realize this, but people often react to the unseen strength within you before they ever understand your story. And this person, in particular, began noticing the small things. The way your presence calmed a room, the way your laughter carried a warmth that healed invisible wounds, the way your gaze, even fleeting, could make someone feel understood without a single word. It is rare, my beloved child, for a soul to be drawn to another not by surface beauty, but by the invisible resilience that hums in their bones. And that is what happened. They began to observe you more closely, carefully, almost reverently. Each movement of yours spoke volumes. How you crossed a room, the way your hair caught the light, how your hands rested gently on the surfaces you touched. But it was your legs, your enduring, graceful legs, that kept reminding them of the battles you had survived. Every curve, every stride, every step was a testament to the life you had endured and the strength you had nurtured. And their heart could not ignore it. My beloved child, there is something I need to tell you about this stage of their attention. When someone notices the quiet power within you, when they see the scars you carry but also the way you rise above them, they begin to feel a mixture of fear and admiration. Fear, because they recognize a force within you that could change their life in ways they are not prepared for. And admiration, because they cannot deny the beauty, the resilience, and the light that radiates from your very being. One evening, not long after that first encounter, they found themselves thinking of you in a way that startled them. Their mind, which had always been logical and careful, began to wander toward your presence. Every memory of that day returned, the subtle tilt of your head, the confident way you walked, the way their eyes had refused to leave you. And they realized, my beloved child, that something extraordinary had awakened inside them. Something that they could not name, but that was undeniable. It is important for you to understand this, my beloved child, what they felt was not fleeting. It was not a casual attraction or a passing curiosity. It was recognition of a soul that mirrors their own unspoken truths, a resonance that occurs rarely in human connections. They were drawn not to perfection, not to appearances, but to your authentic power. The real, raw, and unpolished strength that exists because you have survived life's trials with courage and grace. And so they began seeking reasons to be near you, even when the world tried to keep them away. Small coincidences, seemingly accidental encounters, moments when paths crossed, they began to notice every detail of your life that intersected with theirs. And in each moment, my beloved child, the universe whispered secrets to them that only the heart could hear. They watched you, sometimes from afar, sometimes closer than they intended. They noticed how you treated people who were ignored, how you remained calm in chaos, how your smile could light even the darkest corners of a room. But most of all, they noticed the quiet dignity with which you carried your life, the same dignity that made your legs a symbol of endurance, hope, and unspoken stories. My beloved child, this is where the story deepens. For as much as they admired you, they also began to feel an inner tension, a struggle between fear and desire. Fear of being vulnerable, fear of being overwhelmed by the intensity of your spirit, fear of confronting the reality that someone like you, so rare, so alive, so real, could exist in their life. And yet, desire pulled them relentlessly, a force they could not resist, a force that defied logic and reason. One evening, in a moment that seemed orchestrated by fate itself, they found themselves standing close to you. The air between you hummed with unspoken words, with recognition, with a tension that neither of you had felt before. And then, my beloved child, they spoke. Not loudly, not with drama, but with a quiet intensity that left your soul tingling. I have never seen someone move through life with such strength, with such grace, with such truth. How do you carry so much yet remain so whole? My beloved child, do you understand what that question truly means? It is not merely curiosity. It is awe. It is reverence. It is the recognition of a soul that has witnessed storms and survived, not by chance, but by divine purpose. And in that moment, my beloved child, you realized that something profound was happening. You realized that your presence, your mere being, had touched someone in a way that changed their internal world. Something had awakened inside them. A longing, a respect, a love that they could not yet define. But my beloved child, here is the spiritual truth I must share with you. When someone reacts to your spirit in this way, it is not only about them. It is about you awakening to your own power. It is about you seeing yourself as the universe sees you, resilient, radiant, irreplaceable. Every glance they gave you, every thought they could not stop thinking, every silent admiration, they were mirrors reflecting your true worth back to you. And as days passed, as moments accumulated, their admiration deepened into something far stronger. A quiet obsession, not in the unhealthy sense, but a spiritual magnetism that could not be ignored. They began to understand, at an instinctive level, that your path, your struggles, your triumphs, your very existence, were intertwined with something larger than themselves. My beloved child, this is where the subtle magic occurs. When someone notices your strength and your resilience, when they recognize the journey etched into your very being, the universe begins to conspire. Paths align, encounters multiply, and the invisible threads that connect souls pull taut. And that is exactly what began to happen with them. They started to make decisions, small, careful, almost unconscious choices, that brought them closer to you. Choices that would have seemed trivial under normal circumstances suddenly felt monumental. Every step, every glance, every moment spent near you became charged with meaning. And yet, my beloved child, they were still afraid. They were afraid because they had never met someone like you. They were afraid because they could feel the enormity of your spirit, the depth of your courage, the fire that burned within you. They were afraid of what it meant to truly see you, to truly know you, to truly be a part of your life. But my beloved child, fear does not last forever. Not when destiny is at work. Not when hearts are meant to collide. Not when souls are destined to recognize each other across lifetimes. And so, little by little, they began to let go of the fear. Little by little, they began to allow themselves to feel the pull, the magnetism, the undeniable truth that had been present since the moment they first noticed your legs. And that is why, my beloved child, you must never underestimate the quiet power you hold. You must never doubt that every step you take, every movement you make, carries significance. Because the universe is watching. Because hearts are watching. Because souls, like theirs, are waiting to recognize the extraordinary within you. My beloved child. You have returned once more, and it is no accident. The universe has guided you here, to the final part of this story, to witness the awakening of a connection that began the moment they noticed your legs and uttered words that still echo across unseen realms. Now, you are ready to see the full depth of what was set in motion, the spiritual truth that binds your soul to this unfolding destiny. After the first shock, after the awe, after the silent recognition, something remarkable began to take shape. That person, whose eyes had lingered on your legs, whose heart had trembled in the presence of your strength, began to understand that they were not merely observing you. They were being changed by you. My beloved child, when someone witnesses the quiet power of your spirit, when they see the resilience you carry in every step, their entire being begins to realign. They begin to feel emotions they never thought possible, to sense a purpose they had never acknowledged, and to confront a truth they had long denied, that some souls are meant to meet, not by coincidence, but by divine design. And so, my beloved child, the days that followed were filled with a subtle tension, a spiritual magnetism that neither of you could name, yet both could feel. They noticed the small details. How your shadow moved in the sunlight, how your voice carried a soft authority, how your presence commanded respect without effort. But the most profound recognition remained rooted in your legs, in the steps you took, the grace you carried, the endurance that whispered of battles survived and victories quietly won. My beloved child, let me tell you something very important. When someone sees your strength and your journey, they are not merely noticing, they are awakening. Their soul is awakening to the possibility of love, to the recognition of a partner in spirit, to the understanding that your story and theirs are meant to intertwine. That is what was happening. Every glance, every fleeting thought, every heartbeat shared in your presence was a thread weaving your lives together in a tapestry that only fate could design. And then, one evening, something extraordinary occurred. They found themselves in the same room with you, the air thick with anticipation, with unsaid words, with recognition that had grown into longing. And for the first time, my beloved child, they allowed themselves to speak from the depths of their heart, unfiltered by fear or doubt. I can't stop thinking about you, they whispered, almost afraid to break the silence with words that seemed too powerful for ordinary conversation. I see your strength, your courage, your very soul. And I don't know how to step back anymore. My beloved child, these words were not mere confession. They were revelation. They were the spiritual truth of recognition, the acknowledgement of a soul seeing another soul in its purest, most vulnerable form. And in that moment, you realized, perhaps for the first time, that your presence, your existence, your very being, has the power to awaken someone else, to shake them to their core, to make them confront a truth they cannot ignore. That you are extraordinary, irreplaceable, and unforgettable. But my beloved child, the story does not end with their words. It continues in the choices they made, in the courage they found within themselves to approach what the heart had longed for. Because seeing your strength is one thing, but stepping into it, into the reality of your light, into the sacred space you occupy, is another. They had to confront their own fears, their own insecurities, their own doubts. And little by little, my beloved child, they began to surrender to the truth that had been impossible to deny since the moment they noticed your legs. And here is the divine secret I must share with you, my beloved child, the person who is drawn to you, who has been affected by your presence, who has seen the strength and beauty that radiates from every step you take. They are not just seeing you, they are seeing the reflection of their own potential. They are seeing what is possible when courage meets grace, when resilience meets vulnerability, when hearts finally recognize each other without pretense or hesitation. And so, my beloved child, what began with a simple observation, the noticing of your legs, the quiet admiration of your endurance, has evolved into something much larger, something sacred. It has evolved into a spiritual recognition, a soul connection, a realization that life has brought you together for a reason far beyond the ordinary. They will continue to watch you, to be inspired by you, to feel the magnetic pull of your spirit, because the universe has entwined your paths. And every step you take, every stride, every moment of quiet dignity, will continue to resonate with them, awaken them, and guide them toward the understanding that what they feel is not mere attraction. It is destiny. My beloved child, remember this always: your life, your struggles, your triumphs, and yes, even your legs, carry a divine message. You are walking proof that resilience creates beauty, that suffering births strength, that grace can survive even the harshest storms. And the person who has noticed you, who has been profoundly affected by you, is not just seeing the surface, they are seeing the eternal, the divine, the sacred within you. As you continue to move through the world, my beloved child, never doubt your power to inspire, to awaken, to transform. Every glance you receive, every thought someone holds about you, every moment of silent recognition, is a testament to the extraordinary life you lead and the soul you carry. You are unforgettable, not because of how you look, but because of who you are, because of the spirit that walks with courage, hope, and unyielding strength. And one day, my beloved child, when they finally speak the words that have been held in their hearts since that first moment, you will understand the truth of everything, that noticing your legs was never about the surface, never about the physical, never about what the eyes could see alone. It was about seeing your story, your soul, your divine essence, something that will leave a permanent mark on anyone blessed enough to truly witness it. So walk boldly, my beloved child. Walk with the knowledge that your every step carries purpose, every motion carries strength, every presence carries light. And trust that those who are meant to recognize your soul will not only see it, they will honor it, revere it, and cherish it in ways the world cannot measure. The moment they noticed your legs was only the beginning. The shock, the awe, the awakening, that was just the doorway. The true journey, my beloved child, is the recognition of your divinity by those whose hearts are ready to see it. And as long as you walk your path with courage and grace, the universe will continue to align, bringing the right souls to witness the extraordinary, sacred, and unstoppable being that you are. Never forget, my beloved child, you are seen. You are felt. You are unforgettable. And the person whose heart was touched that day will never be the same, because your steps have already left a permanent imprint on their soul. The story ends here, my beloved child, but your journey continues. Walk boldly, love fiercely, and remember always that your very existence is a miracle in motion, a force that awakens, inspires, and transforms every heart that truly sees you.